So then by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, it's a solid habit that you had started in your teens and your 20s, rather than neglecting it, because then your health's going to suffer. And then if your health suffers, your family relationship, your teen, and your work ultimately is going to suffer.
The increase in focus will impact your study and work in a positive way. Your work and your study will be of a higher quality.
I was so productive, so efficient. I was just working so much. No brain fog, just mental clarity was amazing. No lethargy, just effectiveness, efficient in my studying, in my Islam.
That also extends to weakness in the mentality and the mindset, right?
When calamity or stress happens, you're not even going to know how to deal with it because you've just already got a weak mind. So if you think about it logically, if you've got a Lamborghini, but there's
Mm.
extra 10 men in the car, what's going to happen? It's going to slow down. But if it's just you, you're not carrying any excess weight, you'll just be able to drive it a lot further. Again and again and again, you're engraving that discipline in you. And I'm a big believer of how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you're able to do that, when it comes to Salah, your family, your relationships, other external projects or works you want to do outside of work perhaps or studying, you're not going to feel like doing it, but you'll be like, you know, I've learned that discipline over there. Let me apply it over here.
Neglecting your physical health directly impacts your mind and your body. Do you know how much ignoring your physical health and physical fitness impacts your productivity, your spiritual and mental well being as a Muslim? Not only that, it also impacts your productivity and holds you back from achieving your goals and reaching your true potential. In this episode, we will explore how focusing on your physical health and physical fitness can improve your productivity and sharpen your focus. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Afnaan Majid. Assalamu alaikum, Afnaan, and thank you for being with us today.
Wa alaikum assalam, my man. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, jazakumullahu khairan. So, uh, I believe the topic we're discussing today is extremely important. And before we dive deeper into our discussion today, I would like to present an idea to you that you might have heard from people around you. And of course, I also had experienced this myself. So, it's the idea that many young people have, which is, in your 20s, your top priority should be your study and your work, and you should get as much of that as possible in your 20s, while you're focusing on your physical health and your fitness and exercising. Going to the gym is something secondary, is something, it's a leisure activity that you can do in your holidays. So what do you think of this idea?
So it's a case of habits. Habits don't just like click into place. It's a case of you build it over years. So if you neglect it in your teens, your 20s, and even into your 30s, you're not just going to wake up one day and be like, yep, let me get to it. Because by then you'll be busy, wife, kids, bills to pay. You might have let your health go so much so that you're not even able to do the leisure activities like sports or gym. You might have diabetes already by then, high blood sugar. So it's a case of you need to have balance in life is the answer. You need to bring it into your life nice and slowly, habitually. So then by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, it's a solid habit that you had started in your teens and your 20s, rather than neglecting it, because then your health's going to suffer. And then if your health suffers, your family relationship, your teen, and your work ultimately is going to suffer.
Yeah, and from my experience, I think it's also sometimes counterintuitive, because you might be thinking you go into the gym, that means you're wasting time that you could have used for study or work. But in fact, the increase in focus will impact your study and work in a positive way. Your work and your study will be of a higher quality.
100% agree. Because last year when I was 100 kilos, I got fat on purpose. And then what ended up happening was brain fog, lethargy, fatigue, afternoon crashes. I couldn't think straight. It was mentally it just wasn't there. And then obviously this year I was on a mission after getting fat on purpose to shed all that weight. I got down to 72 kilos, which was last month. Fittest I've ever been, health as I've ever been, business is the best it's ever been. I was so productive, I was so efficient, I was just working so much, and no brain fog, just mental clarity was amazing. No lethargy, just effectiveness, efficient in my studying and my Islam and everything. So it felt really good. I don't understand how people can think the vehicle that is your body, if it's not fit enough, it's not gonna you're not gonna be able to drive it as far. But if it's so fit, you'll be able to drive it for ages and ages without having to worry about it breaking down because it's just going to run like a smooth engine.
Yeah, amazing. So one of the things that you mentioned in your content is the skinny fat guy. So can you tell us more about this guy, about his lifestyle, about his mindset, about the struggles that he faces in life?
Yeah, so the skinny fat guy is basically someone that doesn't train, they don't do any sports, they don't do any gym, they don't do anything, they don't move their body, they just sit and they work. So they don't ultimately use their body, and the body's been designed to move. And then couple that with that absolutely terrible diet, no protein, no nutrients, no micronutrients, just crap food, junk food. It's terrible. And then it's particularly common in South Asian men and Middle Eastern men because the diet is just filled with high carbs and high fats and no protein. They're really protein deficient. So their muscles are just eroding away. And then obviously they're not training, so they don't build any muscle. So ultimately they develop a skinny fat look. So you might have noticed in your local mosques, a big pot belly over here, really skinny arms. It happens to a lot of brothers because they've just not been training. And then ultimately, what I found is those men have got low energy mentally. They're weaker. They're a lot stressed, a lot faster, and the testosterone's just lower than someone who would train and has a healthier diet as well. So they're just making themselves ultimately a weaker man by default.
Yeah, and that also extends to weakness in the mentality and the mindset, right?
100%. Because when you're not disciplining yourself in your diet and your gym and your body, essentially, that will end up weakening your iman, your faith, your family relationships, other disciplines in your life. So when calamity or stress happens, you're not even going to know how to deal with it because you've just already got a weak mind.
Yeah. And where do you think this came from? Is it because the parents also ignored their health, so they inherited this lifestyle from them as well?
Yeah, I'd say so. Um, because I think, alhamdulillah, I was lucky enough to have parents that kept saying to me, "You're not sitting in the house playing Xbox. Go outside, play football. Go outside on the bike." My mum was always like, "Go find a boxing class to go to. Go find karate or football. Like you're not sitting down in the house doing nothing. Like that's terrible." And I think some Asian, obviously, I've heard of it as well. Some Asian families or their parents, they don't actually like the kids going out too much because they think, oh, they might get up to no good, the area's no good. But then what ends up happening is they end up messing the kid up because then the kid becomes so lazy that it affects them growing up. So it's always on the kids. Firstly, they need to copy the dad's actions. The dad can't just say, get go outside, move, and that. The dad needs to be taking action. Same with the mum to an extent. And then secondly, if they're not even saying it to the kids and just leaving them indoors, then it's going to be detrimental to the kids' future habits, so to speak.
Okay, some people are actually busy, like we talk about students and professionals, etc. To those people, because it takes time going to the gym, or even if you're not going to the gym, you're exercising somewhere. What would you say that the potentially positive impact uh, taking care of their health, exercising will be on their study and on their work from your experience yourself?
So you're asking if they do actually take the time to go to the gym and fix their diet, how will it impact their studies and work?
Yes.
Yeah, so similar to earlier, like I was saying, if you fix the vehicle that is your body, they'll just be able to drive a lot further efficiently and effectively. So I found that myself, like I mentioned, when I was 100 kilos and then I got down to 72 kilos, brain fog goes away. Mentally, you're a lot clearer. So you're able to work a lot harder, effectively and efficiently without burning out. And there's no stress because when you've got higher body fat on you, cortisol, the stress hormone, goes up. When you've got lower, cortisol goes down. Your ability to handle stress is easy. So you can just work a lot harder. You can study for a lot longer. Your brain works as it should. So if you think about it logically, if you've got a Lamborghini, but there's
Mm.
extra 10 men in the car, what's going to happen? It's going to slow down. But if it's just you, you're not carrying any excess weight, you'll just be able to drive it a lot further.
Yeah. And how do you think that also links to being more disciplined?
Great question. So even like Prophet ﷺ, he said the worst vessel you can fill is your stomach. So if this is the Prophet saying this to you, then we need to control ourselves. So if you can control yourself with food, there's something tasty there, and you already know you're full, and you can control yourself and be disciplined. Then you can do that over a period of days. Be disciplined with your diet, hit your protein goals, hit your calorie goals, and then go to the gym when you don't feel like it. Again and again and again. You're engraving that discipline in you. And I'm a big believer of how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you're able to do that, when it comes to salah, your family, your relationships, other external projects or works you want to do outside of work perhaps or studying, you're not going to feel like doing it, but you'll be like, I've learned that discipline over there. Let me apply it over here. And then
Yeah.
you're
So
just able to do
it's kind of
more.
the same muscle using everywhere.
Yeah, discipline's all it's like a brain muscle almost. So the more you're able to do it in one area, you're able to apply it in others. And there are studies that show there's a part of your brain where if you don't want to do something and you do it anyway, it grows. So
Mm.
literally your willpower increases. There was an Andrew Huberman talk where he talked about it. It was a talk with him and David Goggins on a podcast, and they're talking about it. And the part of your brain literally grows the more you do stuff you do not want to do. So it's
Yeah.
literally your willpower growing, isn't it? Quite cool.
Yeah. I think that's also associated with self-respect as well. You know, when you do the hard things, you like consciously or unconsciously, you're respecting yourself more.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a lot to do with self-love and self-respect for yourself. Because if you say to yourself, okay, today I don't want to be on my diet and I don't want to go gym, but I love myself and I need to do it for myself. And if you stick at it for the next 6 months, that future version of you is going to be so thankful for younger version of you because you're going to look at yourself and be like, I like myself a lot more. I like what I see. Thank God for younger version of me who done it. So in that version of younger version of you, even though you don't want to do it out of love for future version of you. How do you want to look back at yourself and be like, do you want to look back and regret and hatefulness? Oh, why did he not do it? Why did he not go gym? Or do you want to look back and be like, oh, I love myself for starting the gym, and now I love looking at myself because I put the work in, I put the discipline in, and now I'm able to work harder efficiently and just be more active with my family and things like that, and just be healthier, for example. You don't want to be that regretful guy where it's a case of, oh, now I'm in hospital. Why did I not go gym?
That's right. Okay, you know, some people now appreciate its importance and then they decide to go to the gym or exercise, but they have no plan, no tracking system, etc. Do you think someone can achieve, you know, good results without having a plan or being strategic with exercising or nutrition?
They can get some results. They're not going to get anything far, to be honest. Like you'll get the health markers of, yep, feeling healthier because I'm on some sort of diet, but you won't yield any consistency, and then therefore from that you won't yield any results. Because I'm a big believer, and it's just scientifically proven facts. Random workouts equal random results. Random diet equal random results. No one got a six pack by accident. No one became a millionaire by accident. You have to do specific things in a specific order over a certain number of days or weeks or months or years to get a specific result. So if you want to get amazing results, you do specific things.
Yeah. Okay, how do you go about it though? Like without overwhelming yourself with very complicated systems, how do you go about building your personal simple tracking system or a plan, let's say for exercising?
All right, so this is just for exercising, you're saying, for example. How do they go
Yeah.
about it? So what's the goal? Is it just muscle mass increase, for example? Let's say.
Well, yeah, let's say that's the case. With young people,
Okay,
like most of them, the issue is not overweight, but being skinny and weak.
okay. They just want to put on some muscle. Yeah, okay, that's a great question. So for example, what I'd look at is let's get a pen paper out. Let's write down how many times can you go gym? 3 times? Okay, cool. Let's do back sit one day, chest tricep one day, leg shoulder abs one days. Pick 10 to 20 working sets across each muscle and then fill that with exercises. Chest press one day, I'll do 4 sets here. Pec fly, I'll do 4 sets here, for example, and then so forth and so on for all the other exercises. But these are just the tools. The real key metric to actually getting the results is tracking the data. You can only scale. what you track. So, i.e., we want to scale the muscle, we need to track the data. So, you go to the gym, you do your chest machines or the exercises you picked out. But what did you do for set one? What did you do for set two, set three? How many reps and sets? Write that out because in the next week, you need to look back at that and be like, cool, I did 10 kilos or 10 reps on that exercise. This week, I need to do 12 kilos. It's called progressive overload. And this is how you actually put on muscle. You need to give your muscles a reason to grow. That's number one. Number two is train to failure. So if you're just doing the same exercises over and over again and doing the same weights over and over again, you're giving your muscles no reason to grow. But when you train to failure, that's you directly telling your muscles, look, mate, you can't keep up with the demands. I'm trying to get big boy muscles, trying to get strong. So when you train to failure, you're telling your muscles literally to grow. So when you train to failure and you progressively overload, track your results, this is how you put on muscles. And then pair that with actual consistency, not just doing it for 1 week and then skipping three, and then doing it for three and then skipping two. Like every single week for as many weeks as you can, you'll put on muscle guaranteed.
Yeah, I was saying this to one of my friends, like, having, opening a gym is a very profitable business because, the majority of people, they sign up, they show up on the first few days, sometimes the first few weeks, and then see you next year.
No, literally, I've heard it from a million people, man. They always do that.
Yeah, now it's the end of the year. Many people are also setting the plans, etc., to start in 2025. January, okay, everybody, the gym is so busy, and then February, March, May, it goes down. So, from your experience, how can someone actually practically be more consistent with their exercising?
Oh, that's a great question. So it comes into two things. It's motivation and belief. Because if you don't have belief in your plan and you're just doing random stuff, and you're like, is this random stuff even going to equal results? Your motivation's gonna go down. Especially after week one, where you're so motivated to do your random stuff and you put all your hard work and energy in the wrong direction. And week two or week three, you're like, what the hell? I look the same, I feel worse or whatever. Like I'm not yielding any results. Motivation is going to go down, and the belief in your plan is going to go down. So if you have a structurally sound plan and you're like, cool, my diet is on point. These aren't random stuff that I've just found and plucked off the internet. This is specifically, I've done my research. I've asked an expert, or an expert's given this to me, and I've stuck to this diet to a T, 7 days a week, protein, calories, everything's on point. The gym's on point. That's how you'll be motivated to follow it, and then you'll see results, and that results is going to yield you not only to be more motivated but ultimately consistent. If I'm doing something for 3 weeks and I've not seen anything, then I'm going to be like, what the hell? I don't really want to do this, do I? It's like a nice positive feedback loop. Because if you're putting all that hard work in to try to lose weight, for example, and you put on 5 kilos, you're not going to be very motivated to stick at it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. How can people get to know more about the work that you're doing and maybe benefit from the services that you're providing?
Not a great question. Um, just check my socials. PT Sab, as the sign says over here. Um, I talk a lot about it, but the service that I provide is one-to-one coaching. It's a results-based service. You tell me I'm skinny fat. You tell me you're fat. I guarantee you, I'll get you the results you want. That's how it works. I write all your blueprints out, all your results out. It's so easy to follow. You just do it. That's it, and you lean on me for support, and you'll get the results. The three protocols we run. So it's all within the program of the Strong Muslims Training Protocol. The first protocol is, sorry, the program's called the Strong Muslims Club. The three protocols we run. The Strong Muslims Training Protocol, which you tell me I can go gym twice this week, thrice this week. I don't have access to a gym. I've only got home equipment. That's cool. We'll make you a plan that works around your schedule, your time, so you can lose the fat and build the muscle and get that goal, be it whatever it is. The second protocol is the Muslim Diet Protocol. I'll give you a proper meal plan based on your height, your age, your weight, your work schedule, your goals, obviously, so you can lose the fat, build the muscle. And then this is where the one-to-one comes in as well. For example, you might have a random event come up in the weekend. Afnaan, I've got a wedding, I've got a work event, the boys want to go out for a lunch. What do I do? I'll tell you how to go about it so you can still enjoy the event, the wedding, whatever it may be, iftar, Ramadan's coming up. so you can still lose the fat and build the muscle and get your dream physique. And then lastly is the Strong Muslims Club accountability protocol, where you can message me whenever you want on WhatsApp. I'm literally in your pocket, essentially, message you whenever you want. So you're always getting results, weekly check-in forms. So I'm literally seeing your physique and your weight every single week, so I can make the tweaks to your meal plan, your workout plans every week. So we're always getting results. Then what else do I do on that? There's also a group chat we have on that with the boys, so they're always motivating each other, talking to each other, and then monthly calls for the clients whenever they need.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. I really appreciate you making the time. We tried to make this happen for the past, I don't know, 2 months or so.
I was
Uh,
procrastinating it, sorry.
no, Jazakallah
I was like,
khairan. So,
I'll book it, but then I just got busy, man.
yeah,
But
this is like a very quick and short podcast, but I hope, inshallah, the listeners will find benefit in what you said, inshallah. And it will be the starting point, now the end of the year and people, setting the plans for the next year. So inshallah, that will be beneficial for them. So Afnan, Jazakallah khairan for your time. Really appreciate it.